Hello, everybody. It is I, Eric, from Wave Squadron. We are getting ready for a new Badonkagonk. Drink down here. And we're waiting for Aaron to show up too. But today's Badonkagonk, we're going to be talking about a couple things. One, we're going to be talking about the short novels of the Canto Bight book, which I'm very excited to see what Aaron has to say, because he famously does not like the Canto Bight scenes in the Last Jedi. But I'm very interested in talking about this book for many reasons. And another thing Aaron didn't really like this year was the episode of Star Wars Vision Season 3 called Black. Aaron and I both watched it last night separately, but we were a little elevated. So we're going to be talking about that today and see if that changed anything for him. So I'm very excited to jump into that. And then we might try to get some questions and some stuff like that from you guys. And we might go a little tiny bit short today than our normal quitting time. But we're going to be doing that. So as soon as Aaron shows up, we'll get started in those. I thought, for now at least, I'd show you guys one of my new acquisitions from my collection. This is the Black Series SM-33, or SME, droid, which is number 7 in the Star Wars Skeleton Crew line. But it's the only one I have right now, so I'm assuming all the other ones are like the kids and the pirate captain and stuff, but this is my first one for my collection, the first Star Wars Skeleton Crew thing. And I believe Skeleton Crew deserves a couple congratulations. They got so many nominations for like the Kid Emmys or something like that. So we wanted to wish that cast and crew congratulations. So Aaron is invisible again, I see. Yes, he does end up wearing all green. That is his thing. That is what he does. Let's see. Yeah, so he should be showing up here very soon. Do you guys have any like quick questions or anything that you want to throw out there? I mean, I can certainly just continue to talk Star Wars by myself forever. Right, Gonk? He says yes. He loves it. Sip on TikTok asks, what's the most underrated Star Wars character? Underrated. Who doesn't get the shine they deserve? I think 3PO is often underrated for how important he is as as the role he is in the stories. I think 3PO is very underrated. I think that sometimes Chewbacca can be highly rated by younger kids, but older people kind of like, well, you know, he's a dog. But Chewbacca can get pretty emotional, especially here in my adult life. What's your most desired non-existent Black Series? Says Nexus. Ooh, man. I have so many. Black Series. I probably would go. I'm going definitely to the sequel trilogy. You know, right now, we're going to be covering a book today of a bunch of like Canto Bight background characters, and I wish I could go over and get them off my shelf and show them to you, but unfortunately, a lot of the background stuff that you would get made years after a movie is just not happening with the sequels. The internet is broken and doesn't know how to talk about movies, especially movies that some people like and some people don't like. And unlike the prequel era, Disney's like afraid to manufacture stuff, so we're just not getting the figures that I would want. But yeah, I mean, I want like, what's like the number one for me? I don't know. I really have to think about that because I gotta pick one, which means that I have to rank in my head. I don't like ranking. But if it was like, ask me like what the next like HasLab should be, which HasLab is always like a really big release that they don't even manufacture unless like they hit like a certain amount, I think it should be the Zillow Beast. The Zillow Beast should be the next HasLab. And there's not one person that would disagree. Aaron, do you think that HasLab should do a Zillow Beast? How awesome would that be?
Like a big one, right?
Like to scale, yeah.
As here's these guys,
Yeah.
and it's like that'd be great.
I mean, even when you look at those
it'd
episodes,
be so big.
Well, honestly, it's not that. It's not like Godzilla size. It's not crazy.
It has to hold Palpatine in the palm of his hand.
Yeah, but you got to think those are 5.5 inches. You
Yeah,
know?
and his hand has to be 5.5 inches.
That's what I'm saying. It's a HasLab.
I'm saying it has to be
It's
pretty
big,
you know?
but it's not going to be like so big. It's crazy.
It's bigger than the sail barge.
Well, the sail barge has a lot of volume, whereas the Zillow Beast has a lot of like thin pieces that you can pack into a box and put together.
Sure,
you know?
but it has to be bigger than the sail
Sure,
barge,
yeah.
right? Like that's huge.
I compare it to like the Shinron or Purunga action figures in the Dragon Ball line. They're huge, but you could do it.
You could do
Yeah.
it, huh? Okay.
So anyhow, you weren't here, so I started talking about toys.
Oh, okay. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were running a little late between things. So.
I also answered who you think is the most overrated Star Wars character. Or I'm sorry, the first one was underrated Star Wars character. I said 3PO. I think 3PO is very underrated.
Underrated?
Yeah. Not a lot of people put 3PO as like, that's my favorite.
I think Jar Jar is underrated. Everyone gives him hate.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserves the hate.
Yeah. That's true.
Does that count?
He also got, 3PO did a little bit, but Jar Jar got a lot of
A lot.
of good stuff in Clone Wars.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3PO really only gets that one time when R2 and 3PO like help two different planets like reorganize out of.
Yeah. If we're looking at things that like people never got, like these characters never got to do anything, they were so cool, but it's just underrated, is like IG-88.
IG-88?
Like IG-88 is in like that part of the movie.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Sure.
I know there's like stuff in comics and books and like other elements like
He's
that.
a great boss
you know?
battle in
Shadows of the Empire, yeah. So like that's cool. But like as far as like movies or like any of the TV shows and stuff, like we got more out of IG-11. Is that what he was? Is that his number?
Yeah, IG-11 from
it was-
Mandalorian.
Yeah. And
You're
that
right.
was great. I like that.
Legends has a lot of IG-88 stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But like,
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
almost took over a Death Star 1.
Is Jar Jar in comics, or is, you know, 3PO has some cool stuff in some books or something?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know.
Isn't it crazy to think, like, in Legends continuity, if Luke Skywalker had not blown up the Death Star, IG-88 would have taken it away from the Empire.
Is that 1 or 2?
1.
The Death Star 1?
I'm pretty sure.
I never read it, but I've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it took over right when it exploded.
I've talked about that one probably a decent amount, so I can't put it in my Legends or myth thing, but
No, cannot.
yeah.
Which maybe we need to do that one next time. That'd be cool. If you have more legend myth things,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
because I don't know a lot of legends.
You want to do that for December?
Could.
We'll make that for a
That could be
December
cool.
thing. Yep.
Hmm.
All right, Aaron. Well, welcome, Aaron, to Badonkagonk, our monthly Star Wars podcast where we talk about Star Wars stuff. We're going to be talking about a book today, and we're going to be talking about an episode of Star Wars Visions. And I was just sharing with the audience earlier, like, both of these things are about things that Aaron did not really like about Star Wars.
I'm not a big fan of Canto Bight.
Yeah.
From Last Jedi. Mainly because I just felt like that. Like it shows you like the galaxy and stuff, kind of like the cantina gives you a feel of like Tatooine and the scum and villainy and that kind of stuff. But the story aspect, like, it kind of just goes in a circle, and they just kind of end up back where they were with no more benefit than what they had before, really. You know what I mean? Except like they're on the bad guy ship, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas like when they go to the cantina in episode 4, like you get a ship and you get like, here's what we're gonna do, and we have a new person that we're taking with us, and then you make progress. Like they almost could have had the same stuff if they just stayed on that ship and then just like took a ship back to their ship, back to the bad guy ship. I don't know, but it was cool. Like there was like those what are those animals called?
Fathiers.
Fathiers.
Mm-hmm.
Those things were kind of neat that they rode on.
They were very neat.
That was a cool little thing.
Yeah.
There's
Do you
like
want to go right into the book?
Yeah, I suppose so. We can
You
do the
seem
book.
excited.
It's the
Did you ever read Tales from Jabba's Palace?
I never read that. I never did A Certain Point of View.
We'll do A Certain Point of View at some point.
At some point,
Yeah.
Okay. But no, like I've not done a lot of those. This one I think is it's fine.
Yeah.
There's some of the stories I liked more than other stories.
Yeah, we should say these are 4 miniseries.
Yeah.
Much like the old Tales from Jabba's Palace, where as opposed to back then, that was like, hey, there's a couple characters that I might recognize. I'm going to learn a bit more about them, and that's what we got for us with Canto Bight. But when it was coming out, this came out before Last Jedi, so a lot of people read this, went in to see the movie, like, there he is, there's my boy.
Sure, yeah.
So I did not get that experience, but it's very similar to Rogue One, where there was a book called Catalyst that came out before, and you would have learned a little bit more
About some of the
I
characters.
tend to go into the movie first and then find the extra information later.
Yeah. I also, unless I had pictures
Yeah.
before or whatever, I probably wouldn't have watched Canto Bight and picked out who was in it.
Yeah.
Being like, there's that guy.
Sure. Yeah.
Also, I
get
think
what you mean.
some scenes were deleted or
Yes.
something like that. So there's like a couple of these people never showed up in any
Yeah.
of the Last Jedi.
There's like a masseuse scene or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that maybe got cut out.
I think-
Warwick Davis's cameo was cut out. I know that.
I think that they cut out. Yeah. So what is it? There's the first story, which is like
Rules of the Game.
rules of the game.
Yeah, with Kedpin Shalop.
Shalop or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like that story.
That was my favorite, my number one. I mean, it was the first and it was the shortest, but I was so endeared, maybe because of the audiobook, but the voice actor just gave him this voice,
Sure.
and
yeah.
he was just the most innocent. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He was always believing everything going on.
yeah.
He was always like, "Oh, hey," and he's like kind of on the happy end of
Yeah.
everything he could be. But
so yeah, I mean, we always encourage people to read and follow along. But if for some reason you're just like, well, I don't really know what you've been talking about, this first one is about a guy who has just kind of done the right thing his whole life, and he ends up winning a contest. We find out a little bit later, or maybe he didn't. But he wins a contest, and he is the number one salesman of evaporators
the number one evaporator
for his
salesman of the
corporation.
year.
So he gets to win a trip to Canto Bight, which is like us winning a trip to Vegas. Right?
Yeah, like Canto Bight in this, and a lot of
Yeah.
this really feels like the Vegas idea of going and
And he's a guy that he does his work. He doesn't really get to experience the nice life, but for this trip he's gonna experience it.
yeah,
He's the small town yokel that when everybody in Canto Bight sees, they see a mark.
there's a
Yeah.
mark. There's advantages being taken.
Yeah.
He loses his luggage.
Yeah.
He loses his money.
This book isn't necessarily so much about the individual characters as it is like the atmosphere of this world, which I think is pretty cool. Like we kind of just get to learn what Canto Bight is. One of the stories I felt like was just kind of telling you what Canto Bight was a little bit too much, but the other ones I felt like were showing it to you.
Gotcha.
I felt like
this one, the first one, really covered a lot more of the. I don't know. I guess a lot more crime from an innocent perspective. Though
how
you
naive
also
people get taken advantage of.
you also get like this assassin character, right? Who's
Yeah.
like paid money to like kill off this guy
Yeah.
who like people don't like, and
He's the guy that he's seen everything
yeah.
until
Yeah, but like I thought it was neat. Like he goes through, he ends up like he meets up with Kedpin and like gives him a drink and feeds him something that's gonna like make him explode. Also, this guy is like a big pink one-eyed
Yeah.
thumb. Like I don't know. I forget what he's called. What his race is. but-
We have a picture, but Gonk's malfunctioning right now. Maybe we can get it later.
okay.
Or we had a picture somewhere.
We can pop up
yeah.
pictures for I guess everybody here in a little bit too. But yeah, he's like, I don't know. He's such a happy big pink dude. Like it makes me think of kind of like Fat Gum.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, hey,
Sure.
he's just this
yeah.
big guy running around.
But he's innocent. He's like the everyman. He works hard.
Yeah.
But
they, I thought it was interesting. They have like he feeds him this stuff. He gets him arrested. He gets him like right there in like a room with this guy that he's supposed to kill. And all he has to do is blow up Kedpin, and then he'll blow up the other guy too.
Yeah.
But then like Kedpin doesn't turn on the guy, doesn't like turn him in, kind of just takes it all on the chin kind of thing. and there's like
He doesn't rat. He's
Yeah.
not a rat.
and as like sweet and innocent as he is, but
Yeah.
the respect he got from the guy, he didn't blow him up.
Yeah.
And
It's like
mean,
he was so naive to a certain point that he respected that someone that naive can still exist in a galaxy like this, which I thought was really sweet and wholesome.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird. I think he's so used to the way everyone else is and
Yeah.
how it's always for me,
Mhm.
but he wasn't necessarily for him, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a neat story,
Well,
and that's
also-
kind of how it ends for the most part.
Pretty much.
There's like a fight, and Kedpin comes back and like
Yeah, dude, he comes
saves
yeah, he
him,
does.
you know, like
He's got his buddy. It also turns out that Kedpin, like, there is a limit that he'll take. Like, I keep not winning this contest, and he finds out that they're cheating. The actual winner of this contest doesn't actually go.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat them cheating us, and the only way I get in trouble is if they admit they were cheating.
yeah, the company rigged it
Yeah.
to be able to choose who's winning, kind of thing, and then he rigged it so he could win. So yeah, that was I mean, it seemed like a thing that he's like, I won, but he's like, well, I didn't really win. But every year he was putting forth effort trying to win, so he feels like he deserved it. But in the end, I think they end up going to like one of the races and end up winning.
They do.
They split the money with each
They have
other.
a good
kind
time.
Of
They
thing.
seem like they're buddies.
Yeah.
It also includes a scene, this first story, that I just couldn't stop laughing at, which is Kedpin going in for like a spa treatment, and instead it's like this big giant rock monster just like picks him up and hits against the ceiling and throws him against the ground. You know, like this droid's like, "Hey, you want to have the best experience in the world or whatever?" She's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'd love it." Spends all their money, and it's just like obviously I think it's intended that the rock monster works for the droid, but I also love the idea that the droid like went to the rock monster like, "Hey, you want to beat up some piece of shit?" And like got paid there too.
Yeah. Right.
Because yes, Canto Bight is designed to take advantage of you and take all your money.
Yeah.
If you are at a certain spot, like the high ups are still making money.
And most of these, like this is looking at like a tourist, right?
It is.
A tourist. They don't know the layout. Like, what do? We just want their money, and then they'll go home, and then we'll never see them again, right?
Yeah.
So that was Kedpin.
That was Kedpin.
So, I like the story. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fairly enjoyable story.
Yeah.
It was a good start.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's
And
there's Kedpin.
Doesn't he just look so innocent? Big baleful eye.
Looks like he's been crying.
Poor guy. But yeah, you could.
He's not snarling. He's sneezing.
I believe. I mean, maybe Nexus can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is Warwick Davis's character that was cut. I think, right?
I don't know if it was Warwick Davis, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was cut.
Yeah. So there is a cut scene of this character, like in like some type of spa, from Canto Bight. And like following up on like what you've said, like in terms of like story utilization, I think that it can like hit or miss. But in terms of like it being another corner of the galaxy, I actually quite like it. If the Empire is the like colonial power that comes in and takes everything for the, and it's a fascist regime, like, and then the rebels are the, guerrilla fighters that are trying to fight for freedom, then Canto Bight is like, it's like, it's like living the American dream, like you get to benefit from the military industrial complex, but you're not around any war. Like you get to benefit from, we live in a country that spends more on defense than the next like 10 or 20 countries combined, and we get to just kind of enjoy it and not think about all the terrible things that are happening out there. I kind of think of that when I think of Canto Bight. It's like this desert planet that they created this artificial ocean, and now everybody that's super rich and privileged gets to just enjoy life and not have to think about what they're selling to the Empire and the rebels, which is war.
Okay.
So I think it's a valuable part.
Like, I mean, I think this book I enjoyed more than like
sure.
the Canto Bight stuff in like Last Jedi, just because they were their own stories and I'm following these characters and their progression. I felt like there was a decent bit of that.
Yeah.
Though, I think the next one was my least favorite.
Was the next one the Wine in Dreams?
Yeah. With the sommelier.
Sommelier. Yeah. I think I would also
keep messing
agree.
it up.
If only because, like, I don't know about you. I know that you haven't done a whole lot of, like, reading. necessarily outside of Star Wars, but I am not a fan of third-person present tense. I like third-person past tense. I like when an author tells me what happened, not what is currently happening. Does that make sense? I find myself like, it's hard for me to like focus whenever it's first-person present tense, and that was this one.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't notice like.
You don't really notice very much.
Yeah, I don't really notice in which tense, like if I'm more in or out.
Yeah.
Depending on that or anything. So.
Like I kind of thought like this one would just kind of like pause and tell you like, hey, Canto Bight's really has a big gambling problem, as opposed to like they would show it, but it was kind of like stopped and said more than like, let me tell you or show you how this is versus let me just say it. I don't know. That's how I kind of felt about this one.
Gotcha. No, I think for me, the next is hear nothing, say nothing, say nothing. What?
Yeah, okay. I think the second one the sisters from a different dimension. Is that one? And then the third one is the wine one?
Nope.
Or am I wrong?
I'm like 100% sure. What
I thought so.
What scissors from another dimension? That's the wine one.
Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah.
What do you mean?
So that is the second one, right?
I'm like pretty sure, right?
I thought so.
The wine in dreams.
Yeah.
Rules, wine in dreams. Yeah.
Sure,
Hear nothing, say nothing was third. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the ride. Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
I'm right.
Gotcha.
Trying to throw me off.
Sorry,
But
my
no,
bad.
Yeah, the dimension. I don't know that thing. I think I didn't get into these characters as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like the main wine lady.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember her name. Daryl. I don't know. I wanted to call her Lapidus, and I knew that wasn't right because that was the pilot from Lost.
Lapidus.
It's like
yeah, dude.
Darylpitis. Daryl.
Honestly, I can't remember.
Daryl Pittis.
I was trying to recreate my notes, but I left my main notes at home.
Yeah. For this one too, I listened to a lot, and I didn't like have my notebook with me to like write down my notes like I usually did. So I was listening to it on the go a lot more. But I don't know. This one here, like there was a lot about the wine. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of like misdirect on like what wine was the wine and
the wine. Yeah.
Like there was like the special wine.
Sure.
But then sometimes it was like toilet water.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so we're really like there's really like a mind game going on here with what's good and what's not. And
I mean, mind games are so important to places like Vegas.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I don't know. This one was fine. We spent a lot of time talking about wine, and then there was like the dimensional place for the sisters.
I do like the sisters like to keep a mystery. Like they know how much people want to solve a mystery, so they I think they're just lying. I don't think they're like actually from beyond a realm, beyond hyperspace.
Do you think the wine isn't as good as like they are trying to make a story to make the wine seem better?
100%.
Is that like the idea?
I mean, I am not a wine person, so forgive me if you are, but I kind of look at wine the same way I do like the diamond industry. Like I'm being told that this one is especially good and especially old and especially, all that stuff. And I personally just don't see it that way and don't value it that way, So yeah, it doesn't hit with me as much either. But I also don't feel the pull to gamble either as well. So a lot of these vices don't really hit me.
Sure, I get what you mean.
Though I do like the way a story, unconfirmed story, can affect people. So I like that part.
I don't know, but I get what you mean. I think for this one, the story, like the first one, had me a little bit more intrigued. The character was kind of like a goofy, fun kind of aspect for the main one. This one was a lot less of that.
Yeah, this one took itself a lot more seriously.
Yeah, and there was a lot more of the intrigue in it, and I was kind of like, all right, on the wine, and then there's like someone else shows up wanting the wine.
Yeah,
I did think the sisters like whole like pairing thing, like I think that there was the rules, or they made them up, but it's like there's two of us, there must be two of you, and there's always like another bottle of wine, like one of those kind of things. But no, I mean overall, like I don't know, this one was my least favorite. I liked all three of the other ones much more. I think I liked the first one. First one's probably my second favorite.
I get you.
I think. But I don't know. This one just didn't. I remember like listening to it and then like talking with Melanie. I'm like, I don't know. There's a sommelier and she.
Sommelier.
Yeah, and I was like, she wants wine and she's really good at wine. She knows how to taste it. There was some interesting stuff. I tried listening to it again too, but I didn't get through it all the way again
Sure.
because I was like, all right, I have some time. Let me listen to which one. I was like, I kind of remember this one
Yeah.
better and this one better. Let me listen to this one. I don't remember things as well. I
I think
think.
I read that this
But-
is like the author's like first foray into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But dang, what was I gonna say? I don't know. It just I remember talking to Melanie just being like, it's about wine and
Sure.
stuff, and I'm not digging it the same.
Yeah.
I think the other ones, I don't know, maybe they just hit notes that seemed more interesting to me.
Maybe just unconsciously, you also don't like third-person present tense.
Maybe it was that, I don't know. I thought like some of the stuff with like the main character was interesting, talking about like how she could like taste the wine and it was like a way to make sure if it was safe or not. She talked at one point about like Forest Moon of Indoor wine from like a group, but then like it's poisonous or something, but if you pair it with the Ewok
Unless the
sweet
Ewok-
wine or
yeah.
something like that, it's safe or
Which
And
I
I
think
was like-
that kind of works for Ewoks.
yeah.
Ewoks, like, my favorite thing about Ewoks is that they're adorable even while they're, like, getting ready to eat you. Like, it's like, oh, but there's, like this the song, like, there's,
Sure.
and then, like, they take the helmets off of dead bodies and they play drums, you know?
Sure.
There's something, like, sweetly scary about them in that way. So
Yeah.
the wine kind of fits.
I did like how good she was with like her wine or alcohol. Like
Yeah.
there was something I think she was threatened where it's like, if this doesn't work out, I'll make your blood into wine.
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
like, well, technically that would be a brandy or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, okay, well she must know her stuff
She
of
knows
like
her
these
stuff.
are the rules of what you do,
Yeah.
how you make wine. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, but I don't know. What did you like? I know you said you didn't like the tense
Yeah.
of the book, but what'd you
It's
think
also
of
one
the-
that I just kind of felt like would just kind of, like I said, it's just kind of saying what's happening as opposed to making you feel it.
Mm.
So there was just so many times where I kind of felt like the author, like, once again, I'm telling you that this is a gambling problem here. I'm kind of like, I get it. Just let me arrive there. Don't just tell me. So this one I felt like did the most of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the third one.
The third one.
Which one is the third one? The ride is the last one, right?
The ride is the last one. The next one is the masseuse, which also
Hear
Gonk-
nothing, see
Gonk
nothing,
has
say nothing.
Darylus or whatever
yeah,
her name
sure.
is. Like they talked in the book about like
Yeah.
no nose, a mouth in the middle of the face,
Mm-hmm.
4 eyes. There's also a part where it's like she like closes her eyes based
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
on like what she's thinking or what to do or something. I don't know. It was just interesting hearing it.
I think this is a cool alien design. I personally felt like a lot of the sequel trilogy, one was trying to stay away from established alien designs that we had in the original and the prequels. It really wanted to be like, no, all new stuff, which I get. But I felt like there was a lot of it was just kind of like tan and brown, scaly skin, like with everybody, I want more exotic and looks and stuff like that.
Is this not exotic enough?
I mean,
To-
it kind of reminds me of like like Admiral Akbar eyes, like a kind of like a Bith head. I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I think the costume design is what makes Canto Bight shine in terms of another hive of scum and villainy. This is also a hive of scum and villainy. This is just high society.
Yeah,
So I like the costuming and all that stuff, but
sure.
the creature design in the sequel trilogy never really hit me too hard, except for Claude in episode 9. Do you remember Claude? He's like the navigator
In the very beginning.
in Millennium Falcon. He's just like this big slug guy.
Okay.
I think his name's Claude.
Okay. What am I looking at?
But yeah, so
Yeah. What is she called? Dang, I don't remember what her species was. They mentioned it
yeah, I
too.
can't remember either.
Yeah, I'm bad with some.
I have it in
weird
the source
species.
book. All these characters are in the source book I have upstairs.
Okay.
But the next one is Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing. And this one is starring Lexo Sugar, who is a masseuse on
Sugar.
Canto Bight.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about Lexo?
I like this story.
Yeah.
I thought that the character, like their history that they have to deal with and like what they do now.
Kind of interesting.
They're a masseuse and someone comes in and kind of like gets them into a threat, has taken their daughter, and needs them to like be like an informant to them
Yeah.
or something like that so that they can get information in Canto Bight or whatever. You have lots of high clients in this masseuse like massage location and stuff, right? Like, you can get information for me and stuff. And he's going to find his daughter, and it's kind of like a Taken situation where it's like, I have a set of skills that you might not know about, and I'm going to get my daughter back. And I don't know. I kind of jived with this story a little bit more. And he also had, like, I don't know. It was fun him sneaking around, finding ways in and out of places, getting some information. It was a little bit more, I don't know, secret agent-y and stuff.
It was.
And I had fun with it.
Yeah, so this masseuse, like, that has this storied history of killing people. I just love the method of killing, the pheromones. I think it's really cool. I mean,
they had like the finger thing he did or whatever with like I was like, that's kind of really neat.
I thought it was neat, and it really reminded me of we already mentioned it once. Shadows of the Empire had the Falleen Prince Zizor or Sizor or however you want to say it. But the Falleen were known for secreting pheromones. Like, there's a really charged scene where, like, Leia's a little hot and bothered and doesn't really know why, and you find out, oh,
he's pheromoning.
He's pheromoning her. So it's cool to kind of like bring the pheromones back into Star Wars, because the Falleen haven't been in new canon shown to do that, I don't think.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. But like he's like sending so many pheromones at her, he's like red.
This was green.
Yeah. And next it says this was the one by Ray Carson, who was the writer of Most Wanted.
I did like Most Wanted. I thought that one was a lot of fun. But yeah, this one, I don't know. This one was a lot of fun too. I love the search for his daughter. There's like story too where it's like an adopted daughter
Lula.
too. It's a human daughter. And yeah, this guy has pheromones and is a masseuse and can like kill you with his finger.
Yep.
Like, he can like put his finger on like your neck and put in like, I don't know, pheromones or venom, or I don't know how exactly it works, but I thought that was kind of, and like, I'm just picturing this guy like running away, sometimes like it's kind of funny too.
Yeah.
I like the Gamorrean guard scene when he's like coming down the hallway and he's like, "Did you see a girl come down?" And he's like,
And because it was all theater of the mind, I can imagine those Gamorreans as fat as I wanted to.
Oh, really?
They were plump.
Dude, they look like The Rock in my thoughts.
No, I don't believe that. You don't imagine.
Take The Rock and put a pig head on him, and that's what they look like.
I do like this design. It's very Arthurian, I feel like, in terms of its silhouette. So, and again, it's just kind of like, brown, gray, scaly skin. Everybody gets brown, gray, scaly skin.
I guess so, yeah. There's some green ones, I think, and stuff. What about that guy who puts like coins inside BB-8? Is he brown and gray or scaly?
He's a little furry.
He's fuzzier, right?
And speaking of, we can go right into the fourth story if you want.
The fourth story?
Yeah,
okay.
But that guy is one of the lucky three.
No, he's not.
I believe so.
No, I don't think so.
I believe he is.
No,
is he not?
Because I think the lucky three are other people.
They're not that guy that was putting coins in BB-8?
I don't think it is. I think there was a scene I was looking at because I was trying to figure out what they look like.
Maybe I was wrong.
I don't know how to share this, but I don't think it's him. I think it's another guy.
Okay.
Or actually, I think all three of them are in it, but they're more, honestly, I think they're green and kind of reptilian looking. I don't think they're furry.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'm wrong.
How can I send this to Gonk? Let me put it in. Because there's a video I found. I think everyone is in this video to be able to see.
Okay.
And we can go through and like talk about them. I'll share it.
Dabus K coin guy is not or mentioned in the final story. I thought for sure it was. My bad.
Yeah. No.
I just imagine small little guys. I'm like, I know the small little guy.
I know who these are.
My bad. Gotcha.
So this is a Canto Bight extended clip, and we can look at it real quick, and we can talk about. We might say pause a time or two to like find the people. We've already seen a couple of them. Yeah. But I don't think the masseuse is in Last Jedi, and I don't think. Oh shoot! I just forgot his name. What's the first guy's?
Kedpin.
I don't think Kedpin is in it.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure the wine girl, and then Cal and the three are in Canto.
All right, I want to see.
So
I definitely messed up.
It's like 2 minutes, but we'll see Finn and stuff. But I'll try to say pause on a few people that we see.
Aaron, you also haven't played Star Wars Outlaws.
I haven't played it. I need to do that.
I love the costuming here.
All right, so. Pause a little bit past this. Right here, pause.
Yeah, I see him.
So this guy in the bottom left, right there, with like the weird brown kind of reptilian
skin.
And then there's two more on the other side by the white dress lady.
So those are the three?
Those, I think, are the lucky three.
Gotcha.
Dottie, Thotty, and Waddy. Also,
He
this,
would do it. Yeah. Okay,
this
go ahead.
last book was story was my
the
favorite.
fourth one. Yeah, 1 and 4 were definitely up there. For
I
me.
really enjoyed it because it was so much
Yeah.
on like some of the gambling aspect, and
Uh-huh.
I thought like the main character in these three were so fun.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun like listening to this.
This
story.
one was written by, I think, John Jackson Miller, who did A New Dawn. We've read A New Dawn.
New Dawn,
And
yeah.
then I know him so much as the guy that did the KOTOR comic.
The code. Okay, gotcha. We can play this more now. Gonk can go through a little bit more here. There's a lot. There's a
Oh,
lot in
yeah.
this.
And I love this long shot, by the
Mhm.
way.
This is an extended Canto scene. I don't think it was in the initial. Okay, if we go back a little bit, you can catch on the left side there, right at the very beginning of this clip. There's what's her name? The
sommelier.
yeah, that one. She's there with her, I don't know, gambling, whatever. I don't know
Uh-huh.
what that guy is.
That guy he can pick up every marble on the floor with his mouth.
That guy's crazy.
Yep.
But she shows up, so that's I was like, okay, that's cool. She's in here.
Sure.
And then we have at least one more that shows up here in a little bit. And we get a closer up of him later too, I think.
That lady has a hollow head.
Right? Yeah, the decraniumed or whatever.
Mhm.
Decraniated.
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 Well played, the house wins.
I do like how these look kind of BB-8ish.
Yeah,
this
the
guy's
droids.
just drunk.
Okay. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
this.
so this is that guy, right? And
Yeah.
isn't he voiced by Mark Hamill, or was that fake?
Bulio is Mark Hamill. This guy might be Mark Hamill, too. I don't know. I love his little tail out the back.
Yeah, right.
That.
What, I don't know what that thing is. Hey, that's gray, Eric.
It looks like she can sing.
All right. This is one, but we get another clip of him in a minute that's
Mhm.
better, so let it keep going. At least I'm pretty sure we do.
Look at the rings in his nose. Oh, Dallin or Luxor.
These guys are neat.
Yeah, dude, this extended sequence is awesome.
Yeah.
That one's great. I hate it. Love it. Love the glasses. Love the horse face. Yeah, you really get to show off all the designs.
Yeah,
here.
this is just so cool to see so much of this. There she is again on the right.
Yep.
And then that guy might be the crypt keeper.
We've covered this whole
Right here, pause. That guy right there with the white gloves, that's Cal.
That's
the,
Cal.
the last main character of the book there.
Yeah, so Cal is a guy that, like, I don't know, is the right word to say hired? Like, he gambles. He makes games happen.
Yeah.
They get, like, minimum wage,
He's
pretty much.
he's
but,
hired by the Canto Casino
yeah,
to help fill seats for games to be played.
yeah.
I think they pay him to do that, but then I think he gambles some with that money, but some with his own money.
With his own
too,
money,
right?
yeah.
Mainly he gets his own money, but he gets paid to be there.
Mhm.
So they don't also give him money
Yeah.
to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a pretty interesting job, just to fill up your seats
I
and
mean,
stuff, and you get to just gamble
Again,
on the
this
clock.
whole place is just designed to take money from rich people, but it's rich people that don't care if they lose money
Yeah.
because they make so much.
But I mean, think about if you were getting even like $10 an hour,
yeah,
but every hour you're gambling your own money and losing a couple hundred or something. Like
yeah.
you're not really coming out on top,
yeah, no,
So,
not at all. You're at the bottom of the war machine.
yeah, it's
here.
kind of a scam to get you there. But
and he
if you
has
get
a rough
good,
time.
he was counting and stuff, you
Yeah.
know, counting cards and like trying to do all that. Though this story was really cool because we had like this guy is all about like counting the cards,
Yeah.
figuring out what his odds are, playing those odds and doing that.
Mhm.
But then he meets those other three, Thotty, Dotty, and Waddy.
Yeah,
And over the course of that story, they teach him to play for fun.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They do teach him to play for fun.
Like,
He gets to like understand how they see gambling.
yeah. Like, he was like, it's so funny because they get a point of like,
Uh-huh.
one guy shows up, gets the luck,
Yeah.
and he's like, how do they have this luck?
Uh-huh.
But then, like, there's three brothers, and he's like talking at one point to like the bartender where it's like, okay, I figured it out. When one of them's there, they're really lucky.
Mhm.
But when two of them show up, they're terrible, and it's terrible luck. But then when 3 of them show up, they're really lucky
It goes
again.
back again.
So you never want to gamble with 2 of them. You always want to gamble with 1 or
180.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting aspect to his story and his character, like
And,
doing this stuff.
one of the most, not important, but famous lines of Obi-Wan Kenobi is, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Sure. Yeah.
Things are as the Force wills it. So I like these characters in stories like Star Wars to kind of like make you think.
And
Yeah.
there's like a rival gambler that also is like, there's no luck.
Yeah.
Luck's not a thing. There's the odds.
Yeah. There's the odds and statistics. And, I mean, we all know it, even though we all still enjoy, playing these types of games. Like, the house always wins. It's everything is just like, you ever have that thing where, you're rolling dice and you're looking at all the rolls you've had. It's like, well, I haven't had a 7 in a while. So a 7's due. And it's like, that's not how dice work. It is random every single time. It never factors in what's due. But we love stories. And we know there's an arc with this 7,
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's kind of fascinating how, like, the love of arcs and stories is taken advantage of by gambling, houses and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I find that very fascinating.
it's like there's one of the parts in here where like Dottie or whichever one, like Cal's with them and they're betting on whatever game it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are we going to bet on? He's like, well, the dealer has 3 fingers. Triangle. And the last one was, I don't remember exactly what the reason was, but it was like, the last one was yellow, and the one before that was blue. So we're betting on green triangle, And it's
I
like,
love it.
oh, okay. And that's the reason. That's the reason they do these gambles.
Yep.
And then they win, and they're just having fun with it.
They cracked the code.
There's another aspect to the story, too, where, like, Cal has, like, he's been going for, like, this jackpot, and the jackpot gets, like, taken from him. He doesn't win the jackpot. And now that the jackpot's gone, there's, like, almost no chance that he can earn the money that he owes, like, this loan shark.
Yeah.
So he's, like, kind of stuck with, like, this is his last day of life. If he can't get, like, I don't know what it was, 800,000 credits or whatever. And he has to just start riding this luck. He starts from, like, 1 coin and gambles with these brothers until he has enough that they bet it on a horse or whatever.
They do.
No, they didn't even bet on a horse. They bought him a horse. They bought him, like, a blind, deaf horse. A fathier. And I was like, whoa, no, this is terrible. But that whole situation was so crazy, too. Like, there's a lot of fun moments in this one. And some of it might be like, is there luck? Is it the Force? Is it, what I mean? Like, how's this stuff happening? I don't know. But
I think Star Wars has to have a little bit of the silly. You got to have a little bit of the giggles when it comes to these stories. And especially 1 and 4 of these novels provided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like this one. Like, there's, Andor gets very serious. Every once in a while, maybe there's a little bit of a lightheartedness in something, but it's fairly serious. And I think that maybe the second story was like a lot more serious, but not in an interesting way to me. Maybe I don't know.
I
like,
get what you
it wasn't something that I was like, ooh, yeah, I get this one. Whereas like Andor,
It had a little bit more edge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Andor, like the seriousness of that, like I understood, like it's lives at stake and this and that. Whereas like that one, I was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a lot over wine, and I'm not quite like into this one,
Yeah.
So,
here's a clip that Gonk is showing of the cutscene that has our boy Kedpin in it, but can't control it. Okay. It should be. I thought it was up on YouTube, this cutscene. But yeah, there's like this really big guy getting his getting a masseuse, and there's little Kedpin.
oh, so in this one, is it both of the people that were missing? Oh my gosh, Kedpin.
His little butt.
Yeah, okay, because there's the
Yeah.
other guy
Yeah.
on there, so he's doing the massage, so
Yeah.
he's there, and Kedpin happens to be here too.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. I guess they were like, it doesn't add enough, so we're gonna get rid of it.
That is Warwick Davis in there.
That's where we're.
I'm very certain, but maybe it's good it isn't, and they got cut out because I don't think the name starts with a W.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Kedpin.
Yeah.
What's his last name? Shalak or something like that, right?
Schlop.
Yeah.
Schlop.
Yeah, there's no W
Schlop.
there, so yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was Warwick. But yeah, maybe the Force gods made it so. Cut that.
All
It
right.
doesn't follow a naming convention no one knows about.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen this one, so that's a different
Yeah.
one for me. But no, I think overall these stories were fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy. Kedpin has a silent W. But yeah, the last one, I think I had the most fun. I was the most in on that one, I think, than I was on the other three. But my next one was probably Kedpin. I thought was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was just it was nice to see the stories in Canto Bight and like see these characters and their story and their progression. And I think I enjoyed that a lot more from maybe watching Canto Bight in like Last Jedi, because I haven't seen Last Jedi in a long time. Maybe watching those again at some point, like I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, and then I'll be like, oh, there's these characters, and it's kind of like whenever you watch, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example of, because like it's happened before, but like, you know, like there's more story to some of the characters in like the canteen of Episode 4, you know, and that happens through Star Wars in different points. We're like, oh, hey, that's this person, and this is that person. And, like it
The
just
cantina,
adds to the lore.
Jabba's palace.
Yeah, right.
Even the bounty hunter scene in Empire kind of has that a little bit too.
Yeah, I have a lot more time now with like Bosk.
Yeah.
Because of Clone Wars and
Yeah,
stuff.
and that means something more too
than what I had before. Now I'm like, oh, there's
Yeah.
Bosk, guys. Look at him.
So no, I think between this and whenever you do end up picking up Star Wars Outlaws, you will have a little bit of a different look at Canto next time you watch The Last Jedi.
Yeah. I need to watch all three of the sequel trilogy again.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I think I've only seen Rise like twice in theaters, maybe.
Sure.
And I don't think I've seen it since then. And that's been, I don't know, years.
Definitely reveals like how you feel about it, right? Which is like, I'm not really rushing to see it.
Sure.
Like I only saw it a bunch of times because of the trivia, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as like some people say it is, but it's
Sure.
really not my favorite. And there's so many opportunities that I wish were taken that aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a lot of stuff over too much. Star Wars has been like my, since I was little, it's been like my comfort movie. Like sometimes whenever, like you ever been like tired and like I'm kind of tired, but I can't quite sleep. Like I'll turn on something and watch it and kind of like pass out.
Something you know enough that you don't have to pay attention.
Yeah, like too often I'll turn on something and I'll be like, my mind would be like, well, I want to stay awake, and it kind of forces it awake. But like
That was the Lord of the Rings appendices for me.
yeah, so like A New Hope is one of them.
Yeah.
I started doing it with Solo and stuff too, where I would turn it on
cool.
and have those replay. But I thought about doing it with like Force Awakens and some of those ones, but then I was like, I really want to like rewatch them, and I'm afraid that if I turn them on, I'm just gonna stay awake and watch them. And then I haven't had time where I was like, oh, I'm going to sit down and watch these movies now. It was more of like, I want to go to bed, so I'm going to turn on Star Wars. So anything in the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy
And the prequels.
and now Solo are kind of like in my comfort movie go to sleep
Gotcha.
realm now. And I can
Andor hasn't made it into that, like, comfort.
No, it has not made the comfort list yet.
Okay.
So yeah, but no, I think that these stories were good. I was excited whenever I finished this, and I was like, well, what do these people look like? What do these characters look like? And I was looking at those, and I was like, I think I went to like Wikipedia or something like that, and I was like looking up these characters. And then when I was looking at like appearances, they said at the bottom like in The Last Jedi. I'm like, oh, they were, and that's why I saw Kedpin was like deleted scene. And I was like, oh, so I found one with those other ones and the Lucky 3 and stuff, but I didn't know the Kedpin one. I hadn't seen that one, so that one was cool. So thank you. I assume Nexus, who sent that over to Gonk. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Nexus will often try to send some images to help out with that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's been, 2 months since we did a book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we didn't have one in October.
Yeah.
Which I guess we should say too, like I don't believe we're gonna have one in December.
Right, yeah. At this point in our catch-up journey, we really got to prioritize comic books now so that, as we go further, we don't spoil some stories. So that's going to be a focus. We have the 4 videos of Kanan are going to be coming out, and then we're going to be trying to hit the gas on just doing some comics for a while.
Okay.
So if we can find some books to do while we're doing that, we'll try. But right now, we don't want to spoil previous stories, or at least as much as possible. We don't want to spoil some stories.
Okay.
So that's the plan.
Okay.
But I was hoping to have those out over the holidays.
Over the holidays?
The 4, yeah. But yeah, we're just, it's just, they take a lot of effort and a lot of time from our editors. So we're trying to find ways where we can maybe make that a little easier on them.
Okay. So, but yeah, all right. We'll have some comics coming out soon, though, guys.
Yep.
So make sure you're subscribed, and we'll have more comic stuff for everybody.
Yeah. Well, as we just said, sometimes you need a little bit of silly in Star Wars. You don't want to take anything too seriously. You can get bogged down in what the meaning is, and some people might not understand what the intention of the author is. Anyway, in our next segment, we're going to be talking about the Star Wars Visions episode, Black.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna talk about that one.
All
We
right.
did a reaction to it, guys.
We
if you
did do a
missed it.
reaction to it. Our first reaction is available right here on Wave Squadron, so go check it out. I honestly rewatched our discussion after this, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought that the episode did exactly what it was meaning to do, which is just confuse and force you to try to find your own meaning, which I know you love, Aaron.
I feel like
So-
I feel like the author, of whatever it is, like the
Yeah.
creator, has an idea of what they're wanting it to be,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm like, what is the answer supposed to be?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So I wanted to set this up in that what I challenged Aaron to do, and I did it as well, is to watch this elevated, a little enhanced.
Yeah,
We both took mushrooms.
I took a gummy and watched it,
Yeah.
and it was a I don't know. I don't know if it added much more or
Mhm.
anything. I watched it 3 times. I didn't like it the first time,
Sure.
but I watched it 3 more times.
Yeah.
And I also sat and I talked with Melanie about it too. And I'm like, Melanie, what did you think about this? And what
What did she think?
I don't know. She was like, she understood why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's shoot, what's the word?
Fever dream?
The one I was looking for, but abstract. I
Abstract.
think it's abstract is the word I'm looking for.
Expressionists.
It's I don't know. I didn't take notes during. I tried to take notes later, thinking
Yeah.
about what it was. Like, what does it mean? What are we going for here? Like, her and I talked about, like, is this stormtrooper person here, like, is it 2 different stormtroopers? Is it the same stormtrooper? Is it Melanie's like, are they clones? Like we were just talking about different aspects of, like, because like they both kind of look the same. But I'm like, is it meant to be that, like, it doesn't matter? They kind of, like, in war, we're all the same. Is this just this guy's real confused because he's dying and he is just his brain's just firing off with a bunch of stuff, and I don't know. Like, it's I don't know.
I
Like,
mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, there might be here's the answer, but I love when people are trying to come up with one. Like what you're saying right there. Like, I think so. Like, I think it's one guy. I don't think there's 2 guys. I think there's one guy.
sure,
And
but like,
it's personified with green and red, right?
yeah, but it
Which
also
is
makes
like-
me think of, like, when I would have army men, I had green army men and tan army
You
men.
did, yeah.
But like, these 2 guys look exactly the same.
They do.
They're just a different color.
They're both have the exact same, like, brakes in their stormtrooper helmet, and they have the same beard and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar to, like, Luke's vision in the Cave of Dagobah. He sees himself in Vader's armor in a way,
Okay.
right? Like, this is when the gummy kicked in.
Uh-huh.
But I kept seeing, especially with it being the red and green, which when I think of red and green in Star Wars, I instantly think Luke versus Vader, which is a family in battle. Where here it feels like the stormtrooper, because we get this, like, look at, like, either what the stormtrooper left behind or wish he had in this vision of the girl.
Oh, like the peaceful
You know?
moment that he
Yeah,
has?
it's very, like, Padme on Naboo.
Yeah, I felt like that was like a memory he had back
Yeah.
when he had both arms and stuff, maybe before he was a stormtrooper or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, that peaceful moment was, like, kind of what woke him up again or something. Because, like, he kind of, like, in that moment, he's, like, laying there, and there's, like,
Yeah.
she's singing, and a butterfly lands, and he has his arm here on his chest.
Mhm.
But then, like, he wakes up, and, like, our angle changes, but he also still has his hand there on his chest.
does.
But he also doesn't have the other arm.
No.
But, like, then he kind of gets up from, like, that dream state
Yeah.
or something. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's...
Like, for me, and
Then
again,
but
this
then
is
he's in a graveyard, too.
it does
you
end in
know?
a
I don't
graveyard.
know.
Like, for me, this is a person at the very bottom of a Nazi war machine being ground up. Like, Palpatine will tread on everyone, not just, the victims of stormtroopers. Palpatine treads on stormtroopers, too. He thinks of you just like everybody else beneath him. And when I was watching this again, elevated. Oh, and also I slipped that in.
What?
I've been playing that one for a couple days.
All right. It says the gummy has now kicked in.
Yeah.
Did you give it 30 seconds?
Yeah.
All right.
I certainly did. We've been playing a game. You'll understand some other time. But anyway, so I really think that what we're watching is a stormtrooper dying on the Death Star 2, and thinking, man.
Why is it 2, though?
Well, because it seems like he remembers Yavin, Hoth, and then there's the Death Star 2. And it's also
maybe, but also
a lot of the like imagery of this is him, like under the sway of the Emperor, right? And the Death Star 2 just also happens to be the place that the Emperor dies too, So I just kind of like, as a little added layer of this, like, he doesn't realize that the person that used him like this is also dying, But at the end of the day, like, I think this is the culmination of a stormtrooper who dies on the Death Star 2 with no family. Star Wars is such an important family story in that, you can have your real family, you can have found family, but stormtroopers, even though, like, they come as a group, like, are alone. Like, he's fighting, like, a version of himself, but that version of himself could just be, like, as you said, like, we don't know who that is. Like, it could just be another stormtrooper that I think that when you're in that level of a war machine, you think, well, I might not be I'm not the worst guy here. Like, there's other bad people here. Bad things happen, and I do bad stuff, sure. But, like, at the end of the day, I'm a good guy. Like, I think about, well, what would I want? Like, I would want to hang out with that girl back home, It's like, yeah, but everything you did in your life didn't do that. You became a soldier. Like, this is what you do, and you are the guy you think you're better than. Like, you are the Nazi fuck. That in the episodes also had all these eyes appear almost all the time.
A lot of eyes.
And I think you can say, like, well, that could be like the omniscient power of the Emperor. But I think it's also like, again, I got really high watching this. I think it's also kind of like the audience. Like, how do you see stormtroopers? When a stormtrooper dies, do you ever care, or do you kind of just like laugh at them as they die in a funny way?
I laugh at droids.
You laugh at droids.
I laugh at B1s, like, wah, like, those are funny.
Sure.
I don't know if I laugh necessarily,
like,
but
when
I don't necessarily care.
Yeah, you don't, like, well, yeah, that's the thing, like, you don't care. Like, under the view of the galaxy at large or the audience at home, no one cares about stormtroopers that suffer and die in their final breath.
Sure. I cheer whenever, like, Kanan, like, pulls and Rex shoots,
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is so cool.
And as vile and obvious as I think these stormtroopers should be treated as and are, they are still humans. Like, they still suffer. They still have regrets. And I feel like all that suffering and regret is just this. It's the one time this Nazi goes like, oh man, I'm not a good person. And why am I not a good person? Well, you could say, like, well, there's all these systems in place, but the real reason that there's a literal devil at the head of all of my systems that I took advantage of and took for granted. And I'm like, oh, well, he's just stepping on everybody else. He'll never step on me. And then the final moment, he's stepped upon. Those are a bunch of thoughts that I thought of when I was watching Black.
Sure. I guess my thoughts on it kind of went into the idea of, like, them not necessarily being the same, and kind of relating to, like I was saying, like, war. The war, like, I mean, if we made them different, but if we just make them the same, the idea, like, you're just fighting other people. Like, they're not fighting for themselves. They're fighting for someone else. So, like, you're really just kind of, like, you're almost just fighting yourselves, as opposed to, like, really having any kind of progression with things. And then the, like, especially at the end, right? When you get to the end and there's, like, this, I liked the area, like, they jump off, like, like a speeder bike, and they tackle off into the thing, and
Yeah.
they're down there, and like everything's like real like windy. At one point, there's like a tornado thing happening. I felt like that was kind of like the Death Star is like being destroyed, and you're getting sucked into space.
Sure.
Like maybe these two, like they're gasping for breath and they can't get it because like they're on like parts of the ship that like they didn't fully like they didn't disintegrate in space, but they're out there flying in space. So like the vacuum has been, you're losing all the air, and it's going away, and then you have like the two of them, and one's like reaching for him, and there's an element there where it's like it's scary, because it's other troopers coming after him, but then there's like this arm reaching kind of aspect, and it every once in a while flashes to like scary hand, but then it stops and like they get to grab each other, and it kind of like Mel and I, when we were talking about it, like turned into like a thing of like, are these two soldiers are just people? They're fighting for something that maybe they don't even believe in, and in the end of it, we are enemies, but when we're dying together, we're not. And like they're just embracing each other in their final moments, being vacuumed into space.
Versus dying alone.
Yeah, versus dying alone. Like they're just like there for each other because there's no one else here. Okay.
I mean, I was like, I quite like that.
That's a neat idea.
I quite like that. Even if I'm going back to my original thing where it's the same person, I kind of like that. Maybe somebody without friends or family can find that solace in themselves. At the end. So I think that's quite cool. And you were just talking about like, well, what if it's like the destruction of the Death Star? And I never really considered like that thing is full of kyber crystals that have a very strong like connection with the Force. I wonder if like maybe there's like some weird, chaotic, crazy to compute Force stuff going on when all those blow up.
Kyber crystals do have a lot of Force stuff, right?
They do.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Like, maybe you can... If kyber crystals are strong with Force energy, could they explode? Like, you were talking about this resembling the Cave of Dagobah.
Yeah.
Could they explode into, like, their own little Cave of
nexus.
Dagobah thing or
Sure.
something? And then you have something like that going on?
I mean, the Force is everywhere. It's all around us.
That would explain the damn horses, where I'm like, why are there horses? They didn't have horses until, like, Episode 9.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be horses on either Death Star. Or any of those moments, whether it's Death Star 1 or Death Star 2.
You know what? Fair. But there are horses, regular old horses.
Pulling Padme's
Pulling
thing.
Padme,
Sure, yeah.
You're talking about
true.
the Orbex, though, in Episode 9, which I love them. They're just horses with masks on.
That's what they were, right? They're riding those at one point.
So it kind of calls back to
before they go into the sun.
Yeah.
Which also, when I was watching that one of the times, I was like, are they... Like, one guy's fighting away, but what if that one guy was just trying to reach for him as a friend, but the other guys keep fighting him away? And I was like, well, what if... I don't know if I watched it another time where I was trying to watch being like, are they both fighting the whole time? Or does one think the other one's fighting, so he's defending himself, fighting back, and really he's just trying to be one. He's trying to be whole or something, But it would be neat if the idea is like, no, the Death Star blew up and the Force got all screwed up because of the kyber crystals. So he's like stuck in some kind of like weird going in between Force vision stuff or something. And then you're like, oh, that's why everything's so weird.
Sure.
But I also I thought the Death Star 1 was what was blowing up. And the reason for that was like in the one shot, I felt like it was a whole Death Star and didn't look like it had holes in it when it was like, like opening up and stuff. But it doesn't necessarily have to be either. I
mean, it could be that this, I don't know exactly how, but it could be that this guy was at all the battles. Or at least it's just...
he can't be on the Death Star 1.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, some people got away. Vader did, and I know there are some survivors on the Imperial side.
There was also, like, I don't know if they're in Hoth in the 1. Because I thought about that at first, too. But then another time when I was watching it, like... It's like there's like a snow thing. He's cold.
Yep.
There, you see like the shadow of the Death Star, like as it looks up at one point. There's X-wings fighting above and stuff too. And I was like, what if he doesn't know where he is and he's just cold in space?
Yeah, sure.
And that's what he's feeling.
And Hoth is what comes out visually.
Yeah, or the snow is what comes out, and that's the general thing. There's also a shot where it's like the X-wings like fly away, and then you see stormtroopers and they're just falling and dying, and I'm like. It's just like all of his brothers in arms dying, and like they all fall into like a hole in a pit.
And then he ends up in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Amongst all the other fools that thought, oh, he won't tread on me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's such a weird episode.
Super weird. One of the weirdest.
There's definitely an aspect where I'm like, it feels like there's definitely like a stormtrooper dying.
Yeah.
And this is like his... I mean, it literally could just be this guy's just laying here, and it's just his brain firing random images for him.
Dimetrotryptamine, DMT is the
It's like the light flashing before
Yeah.
your eyes kind of
DMT
idea.
is a chemical that your brain creates that it does it whenever you're dreaming, and it floods your brain when you're dying. Evolutionary wise, once your body kind of realizes it's dying, you see this with like animals too. When they realize they're gonna die, they kind of just like give up and they stop, and their brain floods with DMT, and we don't know exactly what their mindsets are in the moments of death, but it's as close to what your craziest dreams are is the hypothesis of it.
Sure.
So I
And
think that's what we're going with here.
That's some of the reasonings too as to why like people will see loved ones and stuff too before they die.
Yeah,
Because like their brains just kind of like
near-death experiences. A lot of people put as the cause of those because people tend to experience like either like an afterlife that is prevalent in the culture they were raised in. They very rarely ever see afterlives from other cultures. It's usually ones that they believe
Sure.
or have heard
it's
their
like
whole lives.
in their
is.
subconscious or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's
So you get a
firing
lot
that
of
off.
like things about like someone went to heaven or hell or visited other places in the hospital, and there's been studies about this type of thing where like doctors or the people doing the study will like write messages in places that like a normal person wouldn't be able to see, so that whenever I was out of my body and looking down on the room, it's like, okay, did you see any messages? Because we wrote some up there for you.
Sure,
I didn't
yeah.
see anything.
On
So
the
it's probably-
floor there
yeah.
was this, but you couldn't see it
Yeah.
while you were looking
Sure,
up, right?
yeah. So, and again, I'm not saying those things don't happen, but in terms of the actual like data we have, there's not a whole lot of reasons to think that stuff is real as opposed to a dream state.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the biggest dream state of all, the moment of death. If your brain is able to comprehend that you're dying,
Sure.
it'll flood with DMT, and I think that's what's happening in
Yeah,
this episode.
which I think like in the snow part, there's a part wherever we have like a weird shot of something and there's like glowing and stuff, and
Yeah.
it looks like as it like shifts a little bit that it was like a brain and like a hand like this, but we're seeing like inside the helmet, and then we kind of come out.
yeah, and you see like just like the firing of the brain.
Yeah,
like,
it
in
looks
the
kind of like
frontal cortex.
yeah, if you were like scanning it or whatever, where you
Yeah.
see like the synapses working or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is that happens in your
Mhm.
brain, and I was like, okay, so like
Yeah.
it kind of feeds that more, and then when the hand grabs and stuff too at the end, there's like this like there's some things that kind of fire off. There's some more like weird visions and
Yeah.
stuff, and then we come to just the face and kind of like a last breath.
Yeah.
And then there's like a woman vocalizing like oh,
There is.
oh. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what that part is, but
Sure.
I get the last breath moment. It feels like that's where everything goes to black.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's called black.
I get, yeah, it's why it's called black. I get the feeling that woman at the end there is kind of like, because again, I keep going back to the scene with him with the lady in the grass, and is that something that he had actually done with her, and he's thinking of good times, or is that something where it's like, I'm gonna get into the academy, be a stormtrooper, pay my dues, and then I'll go retire with someplace with a real nice lady, and and maybe that's like the thing that he promised himself but never got. Because again, you're at the bottom of the Imperial war machine, and Palpatine is not concerned with giving his soldiers a great retirement.
Gotcha. See, I thought it was like one good memory he
It could
had.
be, yeah, very
kind of
very
like
well could be.
The soldier going off to World War II, thinking about the girl he left at
Yeah.
home, but like she's the reason I'm doing this too, is I want to protect her back
Yeah.
home, kind of thing. And then like that's like one of his last solace moments in his dying moment of everything.
Sure.
I also wonder too, like there's a moment, I'm trying to remember exactly how it works. It was like a Death Star trench run.
Mhm.
It was the part where he laughs,
Yeah.
but there's like an X-Wing and a TIE fighter, but it's like the stormtroopers still fighting each other.
Yeah.
But at one point there's like I think there's 2 TIE fighters, and then it's like an X-Wing he's shooting at.
Yeah.
And then it's like a TIE fighter
Like
again
the
or something.
opponent or the rival like becomes a rebellion pilot.
Yeah. And I was like, whatever it was with that, I was like, maybe that also is kind of a sign of the idea of like, who are you fighting?
Yeah.
And like we're all the same kind of thing,
Mhm.
right? Like everyone just wants to be able to live. They don't want to have to fight in a war.
Mhm.
But rebellion and stormtroopers are both fighting, and what are we fighting for? It's like, well, we're all just fighting because the Emperor's doing all this stuff and just trying to rule everything.
Yeah.
And really we should be fighting him, but instead we're split
We
fighting
should.
things that don't matter,
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's more interesting. I watched it.
Do you like
It's-
it more than when you first watched it?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm gonna be like I need to go watch this more.
Yeah.
But it's a interesting project.
I
you
kept
you
thinking,
know what I mean?
I kept thinking, like, man, can you imagine if this was someone's first
Star
Wars? The foray into it, you know?
Especially if, like, what if you don't know like what the Death Star is or what stormtroopers are or Star Destroyers or
Absolutely.
any of that kind of stuff.
Like, I think it's telling a very deep-seated, mysterious story in the skin of Star Wars, which is like, the fear of and wonderment of like, oh my God, what happens when you die? It's like, well, if you're like a terrible Nazi, it's going to be something like this, as opposed to like, Yoda, who dies in peace and, gets his consciousness, you know?
Sure.
Or Obi-Wan, who dies knowing that Luke will save Anakin. I
Sure.
know it. I know it's going to happen because I trust in the Force, that type of thing, you know?
I
It's,
just had
it's like the other side of that coin.
I had a moment where I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't make sense for it to be Death Star 2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we see a glimpse of it that has like no holes. It kind of looks like the full Death Star.
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, but there were no Star Destroyers next to the Death Star 1 either.
There's
There's definitely Star Destroyers next to this thing.
Yeah.
So
and
I
it
don't
crashes
know.
into it.
Yeah.
Like Vader's Super Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
right?
it crashed into things. And I
Mhm.
think that's like they were in the Star Destroyer and then they flew out into the.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then they went to the trench. They didn't really use the trench in the Death Star
Sure,
2. So I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I
maybe it doesn't
there's
make
a part
sense
of me
'cause
that
it's like a dream thing and
Well,
he
that's what I'm
doesn't know
saying,
what's
yeah.
going on. And
There's a part of me that's like, isn't that interesting? Like, this guy is dying and you don't even know where he's dying.
yeah.
It's like, well, maybe he's in the state right now where he also doesn't know where he's dying. He's like, where am I? And he's like, well, I'm part of the Empire. And then all these flashes happen, and it's like, and do I have like anybody that cares that I die? And like the only person that cares is him
Yeah.
or another faceless stormtrooper.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, a lot of really interesting things about that one. And I was glad to have rewatched it.
I also rewatched Twins.
Yeah, so that was from season 1, the Studio
Yeah.
Ghibli.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick
And
Harris
also Annie, Community.
from Community.
I didn't realize it was her. I don't know if we were watching it back when
Yeah.
that came out or not. But anyway.
That was the
I was
one
watching
from
it, I was like-
season 1 that you also didn't like.
I was
So
like,
I'm
yeah.
proud you went back to also check that one out in your
Yeah.
state
I
of mind.
also rewatched what was it? It's like episode 2 of this season where like the girl has like the little like bird dude that like slings stuff and the astromech turns into like a suit.
Yeah,
I rewatched that one too.
that one was a fun one.
Yeah, that one was just
Okay.
neat.
What'd you think of Twins on your second?
I tried to watch it as if it wasn't Star Wars and it was just a story,
Mm.
and it was like, okay, well, I mean, they established like dark side twins, and
Yeah.
they're both like strong in the Force. Like I like the idea of this Gemini Star Destroyer cruiser thing.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. There's still a weirdness to me where I'm like, why are they just in space without
Yeah.
any helmets? But I don't know. I just
It's-
kind of let it go.
It's a space fantasy. Like, this isn't Star Wars. This is what Star Wars makes this person feel.
Yeah.
You know?
I like a lot of it more.
Yeah.
I still think it's weird that we cut the Star Destroyer in half with like a super powered lightsaber, but I guess like they just push more force.
What is the
You
Death
know?
Star if not a super powered lightsaber?
It's a laser. It shoots lasers.
It does. It shoots lightsaber lasers.
But no, I mean I thought like I liked it more than I did the first time. I was like, it's not too bad. There's a few line readings that I think are weird from Neil to like the
MPH.
animation.
Yeah.
But other than that, like overall, I'm like it is a cool little story.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends with an idea. It's like I know she's out there somewhere.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. Whenever like the Kyber crystal thing comes into play and they do like some real like lightsabers getting real big, real strong and
Yeah.
stuff, I'm like, this is weird, but okay. She has her suit and stuff, I guess. So that kind of works. And she gets a bunch of little blades. But then he was like, I'm going to make one real big one. And that was always the one that I got hung up on. But it wasn't as bad watching it. And again. I
And
was
again,
like,
it's
kind of cool.
It's because I think that you're so solidified on what Star Wars is.
Sure.
Whereas, like, you can watch
Which is-
something like Nexus, like Gurren Lagann, and it's different. So maybe you're not putting expectations that you previously have
Sure.
on it.
Yeah.
Right.
I suppose so. Like there's some cool stuff that Visions have done that's different than like Star Wars. But I think there's some things in Star Wars where I'm like, well, this is how it works. Like a lightsaber can't do that.
Yeah.
At least I don't think it can do that. You know, like, but like locations and other planets, I'm like, well, I haven't seen all the planets. I don't know what all there is. Like, I feel like I have a lot more wiggle room for that kind of stuff.
Be the first one to see them all.
You know, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I needed like, and I guess I just have to be like, oh, they're like real strong dark force twins.
Yeah.
And he also switched over to the light, so he can make his lightsaber bigger.
Yeah.
And cut in half a Star Destroyer. And I was like, okay.
Yep.
But I like the ending too, where it's like she's out there somewhere. So I watched it less being like, I don't like this, and more of like, this is okay.
Sure.
So
okay, well, I think it does sound like a successful experiment that you did get high and enjoyed a little bit more. Now, we also have to make sure we're putting out there, like, I think that's a fine thing to do, but if it's, you got to make sure whatever you're doing is legal, and you also have to make sure that you're as safe as possible, and preferably have somebody either around you or know that you're doing that type of thing.
it's like a drink responsibly kind of thing,
Drink responsibly, do that type of thing responsibly. Don't do it every day. It's less special if you do it all the time.
right? Sure, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too. So, but yeah, it was interesting. What do we have here, Gonk?
Oh yeah, I've actually seen this. So this is like is this like a side by side, Gonk? Okay, let's check it out. This is about Black.
David production teams with anime legend Shinya Ohira for Black. A
Okay.
psychedelic battle between past and present, light and dark, and life and death that plays out in the haunted psyche of an Imperial stormtrooper who is facing defeat.
A lot of this, obviously, as you're well aware, is about the imagery. And so what Ohira-san really wants to do is write a rough storyboard.
Shinya Ohira's expressionist, experimental style and fluid line work allows him to animate characters in settings with heightened surreal motion, featuring dynamic camera moves and transitions with incredible levels of detail. As Ohira-san says,
really cool seeing
there is
the
an enormous
storyboards.
amount of information in the movements of people and things, and the joy is in how to express that in animation. With over 35 years in the industry, the filmmaker has worked on many iconic anime productions, including several collaborations with Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. Ohira-san's work can also be seen in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 and the Animatrix anthology.
baby.
Ohira-san wanted to fully embrace the chance to direct and put his unique style front and center. He also took on writing the script, creating the storyboard, and he served as the character animation supervisor. The moment Ohira-san introduces
I had
the
seen
visual of
this,
the opening space battle,
where you
that
can
Definitely
really-
some of this I really like.
You can see, like,
eye, we know we're about
his
to embark
intention
on a unique Star Wars trip.
compared to the final product.
The director felt it would be interesting to take stormtroopers, who are normally background characters, and explore their inner conflicts, memories, and feelings. He tirelessly drew frame after frame with pencil and paper as the team at David Production realized his art digitally to reinterpret iconic Star Wars battles, such as the Death Star assault from Return of the Jedi, in Ohira's inimitable style, with his bold camera work that is only possible in animation.
The jazz.
Ohira-san felt that a joyful, jazz-infused score would complement and contrast
Yeah.
with the visual dissonance of Black. He decided to work with musical artist Sakura Fujiwara after hearing her debut album. This collaboration makes for a uniquely groovy Star Wars soundscape.
There's something about the
In
jazz that makes you
2025,
feel
Black
like you're
was among the short
constantly
films
trying
in
to
the
keep up.
official selection of
Yeah.
the prestigious Annecy Animation Festival. But don't worry if you didn't get a ticket. You can catch Black and all the new chapters of Visions Volume 3 streaming now on Disney+.
Awesome. The cool thing about that is being able to see how much intention and ownership that author has, or
Yeah.
that artist has on this short.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars tends to sometimes be criticized because they feel like, oh, I feel the committee in this decision. You know, where that's not what George Lucas was about. The sequels, I should say.
Sure.
So having this feels very that guy.
I do want to say, like, they talk about the music and stuff too.
Yeah.
The sound in it is like, there's elements where like the jazz is just like I don't know, rolling you along with it too. But
Yeah.
the very beginning has such a, I don't know. I feel like I felt like a lot of anxiety watching the first part up until like there's like a poo, and then it gets into like jazz. Like
Yeah.
it goes silent, and then it gives you jazz. But the first part has like a,
Yeah.
like it's almost like an industrial sound or like a engine wearing up, or I don't know what it is, but it's just kind of like, it feels like something's grinding almost. And I was like, I don't like this. You know,
I-
I don't. It's just weird.
You feel like the machine.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, if you're wanting to have a stormtrooper cog in the machine kind of idea with the
Sure.
Empire, like that has like a big like I don't know. It's like it's a weird element audio wise when so much of it is like doom 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 doom. You know, this jazz.
There's also
beat.
you mentioned like the woman singing or whatever. Like in the middle part, you hear like this vocalization, but it never like resolves the melody. But I kept hearing like, huh, 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 which is huh, 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 huh. So I was like hearing Star Wars, but unrealized. Like the stormtrooper never got to live a life of adventure and heroics because they're chewed up and spit out as a stormtrooper.
Sure, yeah.
At least that's I might have been hearing that one, but that's like I there's no confirmation that's what it was. That's just what I was hearing.
Gotcha. Okay. With that big scary hand thing.
Yeah.
I do like that part where he's like running away and there is like that shadowy hand chasing after him.
Which I always think of Palpatine's shapes of his hands as he's throwing lightning. So I was imagining just his hand, you know?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It could be something with that where it's, or I don't know, like he can't. I don't know if they switched to that same kind of hand in the end too, because there's like a very weird, like scary looking hand that they're reaching out for at the end. But there is an element there where it's like he's trying to like, either he's trying to run away from it, or it's just like wherever he's going, it just follows, or is it controlling him kind of thing, you know? Like you could always have like a master hand puppet, you know, kind of thing. But it was very kind of like an unsettling, like it just won't leave him. It's right there, right behind him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Pushing him to the precipice. All right, well,
Interesting.
that was fun.
Yeah, Black. I don't know if they're going to have any more visions or not. But I think this season was my favorite of the seasons.
We know we're at least getting the Ninth Jedi series. But, yeah, this season had so many bangers. I still keep coming back to the Ronin sequel.
Yeah.
With that, like, cyborg Jedi antagonist. I thought that was so cool. I love the movement. I love the way it made you feel like they delivered on the promise of force speed. And then the smuggler with that caretaker lady that turned out to be a Jedi.
With like the saber in her arm. That was really cool. I like that too.
She's probably my favorite character in all of Visions, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. And then you said about like Ninth Jedi, and I think that was the one with like the little droid, and like the spaceship with like a planet inside of it kind of look. Like, that was really cool too.
Super cool.
Like some really neat ideas that, like to me, like all those really work for me in Star Wars, where I'm just kind of like the things that you can see. It's kind of like I think the things that like I don't know why, but like when we talk about twins, like the idea of like what a lightsaber is, I feel like has been established pretty well.
Yeah.
And you can kind of like you can mess with it a little bit. Like you can like, well, this one's a pole arm, or this one's like this stuff. But like I love where it's like, oh, here's a spaceship that was from here, and now you have the inside looks like this. You're in a forest, and I was like, oh, that's so neat. It's so like it's like that. It's that science, space, sci-fi, fantasy aspect of it, where like you're just like, oh, that's like what is the Mortis trilogy? What is that planet there? It looks like a big diamond triangle thing or whatever.
It's the sci-fi and the fantasy.
Mixing those together and stuff, getting that fantasy in there a little bit more. I always like. I like that part a little bit.
There's something about Visions that feels like play, as opposed to
a play or
time.
playing.
Playing.
Okay.
You know, like you could go out with your friends, and your one friend might not care about being too concerned with like, well, that doesn't work in this universe. You can't do that. You can't have personal force field. Or you can't personally go invisible. It's too small. Cloaking device or whatever. Yeah. But your other friends are like, shut up. I have a cloaking device.
Yeah,
shut up.
on my ship.
That type of thing. So, yeah, there's like certain entries here like are willing to play more than others maybe. But again, very excited for the Ninth Jedi series, whatever that's going to end up being called, to not just show us something new, but develop it. And a storyline is going to be fun.
Yeah. Because that one also, like the first one, had the saber changes and stuff, and I was like, "Well, that's neat." We know of the idea of like bleeding a crystal, so I like the idea of like, it's not about the crystal you pick that gives you your color. Like you find your crystal, and it's about you that makes the saber the color it is. Yeah, kind of right. Like,
Absolutely.
I think it's kind of a cool idea.
Super cool.
So, and that was just like a different twist on it. Though that one didn't bother me. You know, like I
No.
don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of can fit in the lore, I guess, a little bit.
All right, guys. Well, those are our 2 planned. What?
All right, I like next. Let's play Dying Stormtrooper.
Let's play Dying
You're
Stormtrooper.
like, we're gonna play.
I'm your dark half. All right, well, guys, that was our 2 planned segments for today's Badonkagonk. We are going to end a slightly bit early, but if there are any questions or anything,
Any questions,
In
things
the
for
chat.
Star Wars? We can probably take a couple.
we can probably take a couple.
We do have some stuff we got to get into, so we got to make sure that
Yeah.
we're ending early
Yes, on
enough
time.
for some stuff to take care of. So,
But I do see a question from New Gennard, who said, "We know how Aaron feels about Canto Bight, but what about you, Eric? Between this book and Star Wars Outlaws, I've come to enjoy it." I mean, I understand what Aaron is saying when it comes to like, well, what happened?
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
It's in Star Wars Outlaws.
Canto Bight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, I know
Yeah.
there's like gambling and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's not a huge part, but you'll definitely come to appreciate it, and
Okay.
just the underbelly in general, I think is very very is shown very well in that game. But when it comes to like Canto Bight scenes like in The Last Jedi, I mean, obviously that's where we pick up DJ. DJ is a pretty important character in terms of the betrayal and that stuff on the supremacy. But for me, it's really just showing yet another hive of scum and villainy. One that I feel like is not the most obvious, like something like Mos Eisley is, or the Outlander Club, or, you know, Jabba's Palace or something, where it's like, obviously this place is full of people that suck. But Canto Bight is a place that's beautiful and clean, and they might be worse in terms of like who those people are. So I just think that is an interesting thing to bring to the developing feel of what Star Wars is.
Okay.
So, and I do enjoy it every time I watch it, except for Slowed and Low.
Slowed and low. How important? You said DJ's important to the betrayal of what?
Just in that, like, you know, he's the one that betrays him the Phasma.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's like, well, we can trust this guy, like Lando in Episode 5. Like, we can trust Lando. It's like, well, maybe we shouldn't trust Lando. And then it turns out you can trust Lando. But DJ is like, you get introduced to him and you're automatically skeptical. And it's like, well, we can trust this guy. And it's like, turns out you can't trust everybody. You know? DJ is one of those characters where, like, you know, he's almost like lovable with his like lisp or his stutter. And you automatically think like, well, he's probably not that bad of a guy, but he's there for himself.
Yeah. I mean, we found him in jail.
We found him in jail. Yeah. The
Like,
bad
he wasn't-
people at Canto Bight found him.
Yeah. We
Didn't
weren't
like
even.
him.
That wasn't the guy we were looking for.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. What else do we have here? Starting my Star Wars journey, seen some movies here and there. I've just seen Acolyte and went to see y'all's discussion, and it's crazy how hateful people were in the comments about that show.
Yep.
To me, it was a solid
6.5.
6.5. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's out of 10. Like, I mean, I think it was.
I think that's a fair score.
Yeah. I think it was. I mean, for me, I think we didn't hit the destination of where we were going yet with it,
Yeah.
and I was still curious on what the story was going to be. And I think it had some of my favorite lightsaber fights, especially in the more modern, era of Star Wars, or in the Disney era of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which was just so much fun, and I feel like we've never really seen a lot of like. The prequels have Jedi in the height of the Jedi, but I don't think we were really in the height. I think we were in the decline of the Jedi. You know, like they were already falling in Episode 1.
Yeah.
Whereas like there, like we should be in much more of a height of the Jedi. Like, and I wanted to see like what they could do. And like I thought, Manny, right? I thought he was great, and I loved the fight that he had, and I loved the
Stranger.
helmet.
Just so good, so intriguing. Honestly, I think the best like a Sith character has been since the Tales of the Jedi episode with Count Dooku. And then before that, I mean, nothing's ever really surprised me, you know? Like, I wasn't surprised when Palpatine returned somehow.
Sure.
I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I know what Vader goes through, so the prequels didn't really surprise me.
Sure. Darth Maul.
Darth Maul doesn't necessarily surprise me, other than the fact that he lived, but then he died.
Oh, I think of episode 1 Darth Maul.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah,
But
there's not a whole lot there. Whereas The Stranger is so interesting, has such a compelling reason for doing the things that they're doing, and I think it would be a huge disservice if we never see him again.
Yeah.
And I mean, I also think about how many television shows that I have loved that have had not great first seasons.
Yeah, sure. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of my
Yeah.
favorites, and I think the first season of that is the weakest of it all, you know?
And the show, just like a lot of Star Wars stuff, was just pulled into, in my opinion, like pathetic culture wars. So a lot of the reviews and responses was culture war responses, which I don't think should be anywhere close to art.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you mean. I think like it's easy to just dislike something sometimes, and just I think a lot of like, especially media right now, like that's what is really out there.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for it to be out there. For some reason, it seems harder to like talk to people about things that you enjoy. I don't know why, especially like on the internet.
Well,
It's much easier to like either attack what you don't or trying to defend what you love against someone who's attacking what they don't like, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but angry people are easy to control. So
Sure.
everything is designed to make you angry.
I just remember like growing up being like, well, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say anything.
Exactly.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't like this, so I don't have to really talk about it.
Yeah.
Though for us, like we have our channel that we talk about stuff. So like whenever Black was like, I'm like, man, I don't know if I like this one. But I wasn't like, I don't think people should hate it if they enjoyed it.
You didn't
If
attack anybody that did like it.
Sure. I don't think like, if Twins wasn't for me or Black wasn't
Yeah.
for me, then like if people really like those ones and those
Yeah.
are their favorites, then I'm glad they are, and I'm glad that like they could gel with those characters. But there's other episodes of Visions that I gelled with better.
Sure.
And I just like I really like these ones more, And I think like Acolyte, like maybe you really gelled with Andor a lot more. Maybe Acolyte wasn't for you, I don't think Skeleton Crew is for everybody either. But I love like that Goonies-ness aspect of it. And I thought it was a real fun show to watch.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I loved the prequels when I was younger. For me, like that was my Star Wars. But I know people who love the original trilogy that hated on it and said it was spitting in the face of Star Wars. And I was like, man, I love this. This is so cool. Darth Maul's so neat. Like episode 2 is not my favorite as much as it used to be when I was younger, but like episode 1 and episode 3 were like some of my favorite Star Wars ever was, And that I wouldn't be as big of a Star Wars fan, I don't think, that I am now if it wasn't for those movies coming out and me being a kid wanting to watch those. So sometimes some of these things like Acolyte might not be for, someone who loved the sequel trilogy. It might be for like my kids who like need to find that Star Wars that hits and clicks for them,
As Nexus says, Star Wars is a buffet. Like, how many buffets do you go to and you have to eat everything and like it all? It's like, no, you go and you get the stuff that you like, and you skip over the
sushi,
the sushi that someone else loves more than you like that.
Sushi at the buffet is rubbery. I never liked it, but maybe
I'm
someone
sure
else, someone else probably loves
somebody,
it.
Like I nostalgically like slightly stale nacho cheese from like a movie theater.
Okay.
It's not the best nacho cheese in the world, but it gets me. Maybe there's somebody out there that's like, the chewiness of that sushi.
I love like sprinkling cheese and melting in the microwave or
I
something.
understand.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but
no, I mean,
but it's a Bible. It's a library. It's many books. Don't look at it from a point of view of univocality. Look at it with a bunch of different artists do a bunch of different things. You're not going to jive with everything, but you're probably going to jive with something.
Yeah. So whatever Star Wars you love, I'm glad you love it. I hope you guys enjoy that, and I hope there's more in the future that you enjoy, whatever it is. So, we might be able to get one more, and then we'll end with that, and then wrap up stream today. If anyone had any other questions, if there's anything I'm missing here, yeah, I was just looking through to see whatever there was. Someone said like Ahsoka was a little slow, but that's the way I like it.
Oh yeah, agreed.
I thought Ahsoka was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very
I'm-
much
I'm-
like a samurai western.
I'm really excited to
tone to
see
it.
what's coming up next for some things.
Man, me
so.
too.
I want a Hut POV character, maybe something that could take us more Outer Rim and underground stuff. I really want to see Nar Shaddaa. Dude, Nar Shaddaa would be really cool. I've been there in the Old Republic. But
I've been there in the Jedi Academy games, I think. Acid Rain. Acid Rain.
Which one were you talking about there, Gonk? 2 up, 3 up, that one there. Wave Squadron was wondering if it's possible whenever you all finish My Hero Academia, would you discuss all the Star Wars references in it? Like kind of have like talk about each.
There's certainly a lot.
There's a lot of locations that are very Star Wars related. There's also like All for One has a very kind of Vader-y aspect about him and stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we could go through that. That could be really cool. I wouldn't mind going through those.
And that's coming up. I mean, we're in our final season.
Yeah, I think December is when it wraps up. So maybe that's something we can do in like January or something like that. I don't know. We do have some breaks coming up. So the next Badonkagonk, I think, is December 18th.
Okay.
We won't have a book, so we'll have some other things that we'll talk about. Maybe we can do a Legends myth thing.
I mean,
I don't know how many things. you
Yeah,
need
we
for
can do that,
but
we also need to talk about Force Awakens because that's going to be the 10-year anniversary.
Maybe we should do Force Awakens.
Yeah. So we'll probably be coming back talking about some Force Awakens next time.
Okay, that will be fun. So
Yeah.
I forgot about Force Awakens.
Yep.
That is, I think it's the anniversary day. Like that's the release day.
December 18th,
I think so.
2015. I think you might be right.
I think so. So
Those
guys,
were Christmas movies.
yeah. So make sure you guys join us for that. We'll talk about some Force Awakens and get into some sequel trilogy conversation. I'm gonna have to watch that again before then.
You know, watch before?
I mean, I
Okay.
guess so. I should feel like I should, right?
Mushrooms or
I was just gonna watch it. So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be back for December 18th for Badonkagonk. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe. We'll have over the holidays some comic books. Kanan, I think, is the next one, right? For comic book releases.
Yep, 2 canon comic books. 2 issues each.
So
Or 2 videos each.
2 videos each.
So we'll have 4 coming up.
4. Yeah. 10 years. That's it makes everyone feel old now. Sorry.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe here. That way you catch the comic books. And I think in the past we've done those as premieres.
Yes.
So if we have premieres set up, you can follow those. And when it launches, there's a little chat. And you can talk with people as you get to watch it. Not quite live, but kind of in a little live setting. So
when I was doing my trivia with my Lost trivia with Serge, I had invited him. I'm like, dude, you got to come one because he's also like Calvin. He's like a mimic, really good at voices. I'm like, can you come to the studio? And I'll just be like, all right, you be Dooku and you be Grievous and fight, you know?
Go.
And have them just do voices for us.
yeah, that could be fun. So. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We will see you guys in December.
Yep.
And until next time, may the Force be with you.
Always. Oh, there he goes.